MAGA in West Virginia. How you doing? I hear you guys are having an interesting time over there in West Virginia. After 70% of you guys voted to make America great again. How is that philosophy going for you?
I would love, look at that. Golly, man, look at that.
Yeah, oh God, baby.
I would love for somebody from the government, county, or somebody to come down and I'd like for you to drink it. That's what I want you to do, drink it, see how you like it. That's disgusting. That's a brand new well, $11,000 well that me and my grandmother had to get drilled here.
Yeah.
And now, 5-6 years later, we got to deal with this.
That's sad.
Is that normal? That is not normal.
Now, as you saw, the local residents are literally bathing in orange juice. And the sad part is, this is only the beginning for them. And they voted for the person that is going to make their lives extremely miserable.
If Republicans are so good at the economy, why are Republican states so poor? I asked this question a couple weeks ago and I never heard back from any Republicans. I heard from some Democrats on this, and I like their answers. But I didn't hear from any Republicans. And I'm starting to think you're scared. You don't want to face the facts. That the next 4 years is going to be rough for you economically. It's going to be rough for everybody, but it's going to be particularly rough for you.
Rural America is probably the scariest place to be in America, and it's not even any offense to them, but I've been in places in rural America where they don't have schools, and the only jobs they have are Amazon warehouses, so the only line of employment you could possibly have, the only movement you could have in this area is be born and go work at Amazon, and that's your whole life. There's no other opportunity. The best thing you could get out of it is like going and making some internet money somehow, and that's really terrifying to me. Like, these communities are being underserviced in so many ways. It scares me because no one ever really talks about them, because people only want to talk about the small town America that is like low-key more like middle town America. There is very, very rural parts of America, and these people are being underserviced in a massive way, in a huge way. And I think the worst part about it is that I've seen ads that are targeted to lie to these people, to get them to fight against their own interests. And I fear that if they're underserved in education, they might not know or understand that they're being lied to, because honestly, a lot of educated people don't even understand.
I work full time, and my paycheck does not give me enough to even get the bare minimums, okay? I had a savings account, and I just had to use about half of it just to get by until my next paycheck. Okay, and the reality of that is once my savings is gone, I don't have a crutch. I don't have any more crutches. And the stress of going grocery shopping, y'all, I'm at Aldi, okay, which is quite literally probably one of the cheaper grocery options. And the way that I have to pinch my pennies just to make sure I have enough food until the next paycheck is quite literally wild. So to all of my single humans out there, you're doing amazing. And you know, we're a one income family. My fur babies don't work. I wish they did. I wish there was an opportunity. But what are we supposed to do? Like, when is enough enough? Because this kind of living is unsustainable. Unsustainable. Meanwhile, y'all are out here driving your Teslas and your Cybertrucks and your G-Wagons. Y'all, I'm in a Chevy Equinox, okay? And I'm starting to think I need to trade it in because I can't afford life anymore. When is enough enough? I would love to know. I would absolutely love to know. It's pretty sad. It's pretty sad. I have a college degree. I am overqualified for my job. I am severely, severely underpaid. What are we supposed to do? What's the answer? Because I think the next step for me, I'm gonna have to look into food stamps, and I bet you my salary is above the threshold. But obviously, I'm $85.26 away from being in the negative. What are we supposed to do? How am I supposed to buy groceries for 2 weeks with $85 only to have 26 cents left in my bank account? When is enough enough?
It's like a scene out of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
They said they cleared the drain out, and now about 5 miles up the road, all the stream's contaminated. First thing came to mind was, hey, we need to get a hold of DEP. They said, hey, we're going to send our guy out. All day yesterday, it was me and a few other people out, none of them. Midnight, we were out taking samples, and we seen the dead wildlife. We seen everything moving downstream. Another orange stream that's coming from the opposite side of where they said they was working at, man.
You're finding everything that they've ever injected into these coal bed methane wells that they've capped and abandoned. It's coming out now. We're fighting the DEP. We're fighting the people that's supposed to be helping us.
We're pushing for more transparency. We deserve better, and we're tired of crooked-ass politicians.
I think there's some corrupt politicians that needs to go to jail. I think the top 5 at the DEP ought to resign.
Now, this water issue started in Mango County when Pigeon Creek turned a vibrant orange color. Now, this orange color was caused by iron sediment that entered the waterway after some routine maintenance was done on the train tracks, ditches, and culverts in the area. Now, apparently that routine maintenance disturbed some historical iron deposits, which in turn mobilized the iron sediment and allowed them to spill into Pigeon Creek.
It's a mess.
Is it?
See the acid mine drainage guys? Railroad did not cause this.
When you say the railroad, what do you mean, Richard?
They're trying to blame the railroad was messing with the culvert down here, and that's why it started coming out. But as you can see, it's coming out at the top. That's all acid mine drainage right through there. Look at this.
Holy shit.
Guys, right now, rural MAGA voters are screaming. The problem right now is the cost of living in this rural area is so high that they can hardly afford it. They can hardly afford what to eat. They can hardly afford their housing, rent, electricity bills, school fees of kids, these basic amenities, water bills, and so many things. They are not finding it funny. Like, the cost of living right now in a rural MAGA state is something to be worried of. Of all places, at least that place should be a bit cheaper to be compared to the urban places. But right now, they are complaining of high cost of living there. They are complaining of high cost of diesel, groceries, those little things that doesn't matter before, that doesn't cost before, are now becoming so expensive. They are becoming so expensive. And that is why they are in all social media platforms screaming, crying that Trump should come to their aid. But at this point, I don't know if Trump has anything for you guys. MAGA voters.
Look at that. I've never seen anything like that. Now, how in the world did they mess with the culvert cause all this? That's not coming from the culvert. That's coming from a mine.
The West Virginia Department of Environmental Protections and Norfolk Southern, who was the company doing the maintenance that caused that whole thing, they set up sediment barriers and vacuum tracks to try to mitigate the damage done to the creek. And the West Virginia Department of Environmental Protections claims that it didn't harm the drinking water of the locals. Is that so? Do they know that? Because the lie detector says that's a lie. The Bone Spurs administration and the Republicans in Congress are making sure of that. And the worst part is, some of what they have done have not even been felt yet. For one, they put $1.3 billion back into coal. Why? Because Bone Spurs wants to sell to the American people, or rather his base, that coal is actually clean energy because they call it, quote, clean coal. So they're up here thinking that they have clean energy because coal has been rebranded to be named clean coal. Yeah. Now, with this $1.3 billion investment, they are looking to revive the industry of mining coal, implementing directives to keep aging facilities going way past their retirement date, putting millions and millions of dollars not into the community, not making sure that the community is well taken care of, but putting millions of dollars into coal plants for upgrades, approving new mining permits so that they can make new mining facilities on public lands. Public lands that belong to the Native Americans, by the way. And all of this while simultaneously rolling back regulations that kept the environment safe and the working conditions safe. The Bone Spurs administration, the Republicans in Congress, and the Republicans in that state have been working really hard to roll back regulations on companies. They repealed the stream protection rule under the Clean Water Act. This rule stopped coal mining companies from dumping hazardous, toxic mining waste, heavy metals, and iron-rich sediment into the streams and headwaters, Why they have to be told on paper that this is a bad thing to do, I will never understand. Being that we had to do the same thing to tell people it wasn't a good thing to hang people in trees and feed their kids to alligators, that's not surprising for the United States. For some reason, people need to be told in writing not to be a terrible person. But I digress. But yeah, being that they've already repealed the stream protection rule, that guy's orange juice water is going to get even worse. Especially since they also weakened the clean water rule. Because who needs that?
I've never seen it this bad in my life. This right here needs to be reported. The DEP ain't gonna do nothing.
It's not normal. How many people's getting sick off this stuff, man? We're all ate up in health problems down here.
See that foam right there? That is an industrial cleaner. I had it tested back in Wyoming County.
I had a stepmother that lived across the creek right beside this. She passed away of cancer. Now my wife has breast cancer.
What changes have you noticed in your wells since this discharge started happening?
Muddier looking.
That will find its way to your well. I don't care what they tell you.
Talk of the healthcare. Why I keep mentioning healthcare is this is a sector that you must make use of. Education sector, you must not make use of education. If you don't have money to go to school, you can decide not to go to school, learn a skill, acquire a skill, get busy with your life and see yourself prospering. But you see health, you cannot tell me that you see yourself having headache or you're not feeling fine and you will not go to the hospital. Now check a situation whereby the high cost of living is on the roof. What do you think healthcare system will be? That one will be triple or times 2. Thereby making people to find it difficult to visit the hospital. They will find it difficult to visit the doctors. Hospital visits will be high. Healthcare homes will be empty because there won't be nurses and doctors to attend to those people there again. I feel for them, honestly, MAGA voters. But the fun thing is, you come to the comment section and you keep seeing people laughing at those people like they're not feeling single sympathy for them because according to them, they are the ones that put them in this suffering that they are in. You can imagine. Keep watching, guys.
The Bone Spurs administration removed protections for millions of miles of headwater streams and wetlands. These headwater streams and wetlands directly feed into our rivers, lakes, and other water sources, affecting places like West Virginia and other places that are considered coal country. This water seeps into the wells and contaminates the well water, turning it colors with its iron sediment, causing health problems with its heavy metals and contaminants. All of these things were things that regulations tried to protect people from. But West Virginia voted for the deregulation guy by 70%. And now they are feeling the bite. And the best part is, I'm not done. The Bone Spurs Environmental Protection Agency, that does everything but protect the environment, also canceled a $1 million grant given specifically to the West Virginia Department of Environmental Protections. That money was used to track and clean up toxic contamination in the state's most vulnerable water supplies. So whether you are on well water or city water, your water is probably going to be contaminated. Drink at your own risk. And health problems that they get from water alone with the revitalization of the coal industry in that area isn't even the end of the story. Because a lot of people who worked in the coal mines, generations of people who worked in the coal mines from the 70s, upwards of 30% of those people got black lung disease, which is an incurable disease that takes you out slowly. At the same time, the Bone Spurs administration is cutting healthcare, making premiums more expensive, and cutting Medicaid. This is his base. This is what he thinks about his base. These people beat feet to make America great again because they didn't like black people, or trans people, or the fact that women can survive without men. They wanted to make America what they thought was great when it came to social issues. I guess they didn't factor in the fact that they might be drinking orange juice from their kitchen sink.
If you look at almost any big issue facing rural North Carolina right now, it almost always fundamentally comes back to rural poverty. If you look at a lot of the issues that people are concerned about, things like economic opportunity and infrastructure and education and affordability and whatever else, they sometimes look like one thing on the surface, but their underlying cause is always related to poverty. Let me give you a good example. Right now, about 1.4 million North Carolinians rely on food stamps to get through the week. That's about 13% of the entire state's population, about 1 in 8 of all people. About 40% of those, or 580,000 of them, are kids. 3 million people in North Carolina rely on Medicaid, the federal government's healthcare program for vulnerable people. 3 million is around 1 in 4 of all people in North Carolina, and roughly half of them are kids. Now, people hear these numbers and they usually have one of two responses. The first is like, wow, there's a lot of need in our state. I'm glad these programs exist. The other is, wow, there's too many people on welfare in North Carolina. How do we get them off? Now, I'll tell you something. I don't disagree with that second statement. The 3 million on Medicaid, 1.4 million so poor they have to rely on food stamps in a nation as wealthy as ours is way too many. It's a disgrace, especially that so many of North Carolina's children live in poverty. But the problem is not that they are on food stamps or Medicaid. The problem is that they are so poor that they need food stamps or Medicaid in the first place. And this is very disproportionately a rural problem.
I just have to sigh. Special credit to all the video owners, all the original video owners using the creation of this video. They are solely for educational purposes and for analysis. Yes. Please, if you have watched up to this point, do well to subscribe to this channel. Don't just watch and leave. Watch and subscribe, like this video, and also drop a comment in the comment section. This is a way to also let YouTube know that, yeah, that this particular video you actually enjoyed it. Just hit that subscribers button. You can also drop a comment in the comment section, and we will see you in our next video. Remember, this is Dor-Dor Global News, where we bring the latest gist regarding anything happening in the US right now. Global news, whatsoever you can ever think of. This is the surest place for you all. Okay, have a lovely day and see you all in our next video. Bye.